This week was huge for JRPG fans, featuring lots of updates on remasters that we knew about and some that we didn't. NASA promised the West will be caught up on the Trail series by the fall, and speaking of the fall, Ubisoft sold its proverbial soul to Tencent for a quick buck and expects nobody will really notice the difference. Good morning to you and welcome back to today's JRPG Weekly Update, your source for thoughtful and thought-provoking JRPG news and discussion. So let's dive in, starting with Nintendo's March 27th Nintendo Direct, a wealth of news for JRPG enthusiasts, showcasing several notable titles, including Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD Remake. Square Enix is bringing the first two Dragon Quest games to life in stunning HD 2D makeover. We already did kind of know about this, but now we have a little bit more to go on. The remaster bundle is set to launch later this year on the Nintendo Switch, allowing both newcomers and longtime fans to experience these classics anew. The JRPG community has expressed excitement over the modernized visuals and the opportunity to revisit the origins of the series, and as someone who has played through them, I'd say you got a lot to look forward to. I can't wait to see this in action as well. Moving along, Spike Chunsoft announced a new entry in the AI Somnium Files series, scheduled for release on July 25th, 2025, exclusively for the Nintendo Switch. This spin-off promises to deliver more of the mind-bending mystery and narrative depth that fans have come to expect. The community is eager to see how the story expands further upon the game's universe. Next up, Atlus is set to remaster the cult classic Devil Summoner, Raidou Kuzunoha vs. the Soulless Army, bringing enhanced visuals and quality of life improvements to modern platforms. It's launching on June 19, just around the corner, 2025, for the Nintendo Switch. This title offers players the chance to experience the unique blend of detective work and demon summoning in an alternate 1920s Tokyo. Fans of the series are honestly pretty enthusiastic about being able to revisit or visit for the first time this lesser-known gem from the SMT PlayStation 2 era. So it's very exciting. I've never got a chance to play it. I have them and I've been wanting to play through them, and this just kind of gives me another excuse to just put more money into the series and hope that I eventually get to play it in my backlog. This is depressing. Moving along, SaGa Frontier II shadow dropped. In a surprise move, Square Enix released a remastered version of SaGa Frontier II immediately following that direct. The game is now available on the Nintendo eShop, featuring enhanced graphics and additional content. This unexpected release has delighted fans, offering an opportunity to experience another classic with modern enhancements. I mean, I think you're getting the gist. It's exciting. Lot of remasters here going on. And I'm kind of here for it, honestly. It's a lot of remakes and remasters of, this time, the niche stuff, the really weird stuff that nobody really knows about. What of these were you most excited from the Nintendo Direct? Because I feel like there's so many good options to choose from at this point, and you don't even have to wait for the SaGa Frontier remaster, which SaGa's making a comeback lately, aren't they? Man, that's wild. Now let's move beyond the Nintendo Direct and talk about Nihon Falcom's latest news here. NIS America have announced that Trails Beyond the Horizon will be releasing in the West in the fall of 2025 for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, the Nintendo Switch, and PC. Known in Japan as Kai no Kiseki, this launched in Japan last year and is the grand finale of the Zemurian continent storyline. The game unites protagonist Van Arkwright with familiar faces like Rean Schwarzer and Father Kevin, setting up an epic showdown that truly goes beyond the horizon of the Trails lore. Western fans are thrilled that they won't have to wait too long, and Falcom devotees, such as myself, are already gearing up by finishing earlier Trails games. Yeah, I'm working on it still. Still playing Reverie. And honestly, at this point, it's crazy just to think how after all this time, the United States will finally catch up to Japan in this game series. It feels like, even just a year ago, we were like, this will never happen. We'll never catch up. Well, it's happening, guys. If we're gonna stay caught up, I don't know. That's probably another question. But the fact of the matter is, we were like so many games behind, and now we're caught up and broke. Great. Moving along, Konami has confirmed that Eden's Zero, a action RPG based on Hiro Mashima's popular space fantasy manga will launch on July 15, 2025 for the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series, and PC. A new trailer dropped this week showing off the open-world planet exploration and hack-and-slash combat. Fans of Fairy Tail creator Mashima are excited to join Shiki and friends on an interstellar adventure. The game promises 8 playable characters and 200 plus quests, and even early access perks for deluxe edition buyers who get to play it 72 hours early. Community sentiment is cautiously optimistic. The previous Eden's Zero mobile game was kinda not received so well, but the console and PC outing looks a lot more ambitious, and I think people are gonna be much happier when they get their hands on it. And some sort of industry news, I guess, Nintendo has officially set a release date for the Legend of Zelda's live-action film adaptation. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? It's scheduled to hit theaters on March 26, 2027. So while the details about this, like the cast, the plot, they all remain under wraps, fans are both excited and cautious with how the iconic franchise will translate to the big screen. Discussions have centered around a lot of potential casting choices and the challenges of adapting the game's rich lore into a live-action format. Is Link actually gonna talk? I guess he kind of already does. Every time he passes somebody on the street, he goes, "Ah!" I don't know how I feel about this. I do remember that back in, was it 2008, Game Trailers put out a April Fool's teaser trailer of like a Zelda what could be movie, and I was pretty pumped when I saw that trailer, but they were kind of like going with a darker theme. I don't know what to expect from this. I would like it to go in a darker direction. I mean, especially if it's going to be live action. If it wasn't, why wouldn't you just go cartoon like the Mario movie, right? I don't know. What would you prefer to see in a Zelda movie? Would you want to see anything in a Zelda movie? I'm of two minds. Like, part of me is like, it'd be pretty cool to see a good Zelda movie. I mean, what would that look like? A sword and shield adventurer? I would watch the heck out of that. Make it like a Lord of the Rings or something. That would be so cool. But then what would that actually look like in terms of like representing the game? I kind of wouldn't want it to, honestly. Like, maybe just have Link fight some monsters, maybe go on an adventure and get the Triforce or something. That would be pretty cool. But what would you want to see in it? That's my question. And now let's move along to a little bit of SuperDerek news here, because this Sunday I have a live interview that I'll be doing on Hit Point, the JRPG podcast. I know you can't really see my shirt too well, but anyways, you should go check it out at HP Pod here on YouTube. I'll link to it and you can follow it, and you'll be able to see us do a live interview with the developers behind My Familiar. We did a live stream last Sunday. I feel like it went really well. We got to play through the special demo of My Familiar, and while I had seen a lot of the trailer in action, being able to actually get hands-on with the game, I feel so good about this game. Guys, you're gonna love it. If you haven't already seen the live stream VOD or something, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. It was a sponsored video. They were pretty relaxed. They're like, just play it and have fun, and I did. It was a lot of fun. So go check it out. If you haven't already, and go get the demo for yourself and give it a shot. It's on Steam. Go wishlist the game right now. It is so incredibly fun. We will actually soon be interviewing the developer, Chintzy, and he's such a cool laid-back guy. I think it's gonna be so much fun. So come join us on Hit Point Sunday. I had another quick Turbo update, guys, because he's still making some progress. He can stand at this point. I know, it's crazy to even think that. So last week we were like, oh, he's got a little bit of a tail wiggle. Now, if I so part of his physical therapy is we stand him up and try to put him into a stance. They call it a stance therapy. It's supposed to help build up some of the nerves in his back and kind of reconnect things. And he can balance and stand while he eats. As soon as he starts trying to move forward, he just kind of pops his back over and kind of still drags a little bit, but he is getting better, and it's really heartening. And also, thank you all so much for all of the positive comments about Turbo whenever I mention him, because at this point I feel like you guys are kind of involved, right? You should know how he's doing. That's really it for SuperDerek news. But I had another little story I wanted to talk about. It's kind of a big story I wanted to talk about, and that is Tencent getting busy buying everybody. So late this week, the gaming industry was kind of abuzz with the news of Tencent's $1.16 billion investment for a 25% stake in a new subsidiary from Ubisoft. While this barely touches on the JRPG industry as a whole, it's really more of a worrying trend that I've been seeing throughout the industry lately. I would call it a creeping influence if only it was a little more subtle. The entity will oversee major franchises like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six. The move aims to bolster Ubisoft's financial situation, which is kind of in the gutter, and enhance its ability to develop these key series. But one wonders if Ubisoft is trying to lighten the load of a sinking ship by breaking off pieces of the whole, or are they just attempting to monetize what they can while it still holds value? Within the gaming community, the reaction has been mixed. Many, such as myself, expressed concern over Tencent's expanding influence in the industry, fearing potential shifts in game development priorities towards aggressive monetization strategies. The Chinese conglomerate's investments have raised questions about creative control and the future direction of beloved franchises. Conversely, some view the investments as a potential lifeline for Ubisoft, which has faced financial challenges and underwhelming game releases in recent years. This infusion of capital could provide the necessary resources to revitalize flagship titles and explore new creative avenues. Nonetheless, the overarching sentiment among the community so far remains one of caution. Some fans hope for positive outcomes while remaining vigilant about the implications of Tencent's stake. Part of me is like, I don't care because it's Ubisoft and what have they done for me lately? But today it's Ubisoft. But who is it in 5 months? Who is it in 10 months? Who is it 3 years from now? When is this going to start affecting the games that I love?
No, sir, I don't like it.
You know, I feel like Konami has done a really decent job of turning things around lately, as a perfect case in point, which is weird because I never thought they would turn things around, but they did so, and they didn't require to be bought out to make that happen, right? They just needed to know what the fans wanted and deliver that. I'm not a corporate overlord. I don't know exactly what kinds of calculations go into these decisions, but I imagine they have dollar signs somewhere within them. Now let's respond to some of the comments that I got from last week. This one coming from Joshua, who said, Trails in the Sky first chapter, Nintendo Switch or PS5? Which console would you buy this for? I think that if I were to get it for Nintendo Switch, it would have to be after the Switch 2 comes out, because I would definitely want to base my experience on, well, the fact that I never leave the house, for one, is kind of like a big thing for me. Like I don't need it on a Switch. When I play games, it's usually like in this chair, so that doesn't really play into my calculus. So the only other thing that really matters is the visuals, and then what do I like to collect? And I still like the idea of cartridges. So if the Switch 2 looks and plays much the same as the PS5 version, I'll probably go with that, unless it's, significantly more expensive for whatever reason. I don't know. But I think that that's really kind of the extent of my thoughts on the subject as of right now. I want the game that's gonna run in 60 frames per second and look the best. And if they look identical, then it's gonna be kind of a hard choice, isn't it? From Stone Noir, they say, Bayasura. I would love to play an updated version of Oblivion. Loving these casual and chill updates, my dude. Well, thank you so much, Stone Noir. It's good to have you watching, and dude, Oblivion would be so sick. Just give me like a close approximation to the Skyrim system, but also leave in, or rather bring back the agility and the speed, because that was one of my favorite things. Get the boots of Spring Hill Jack and just like jump over homes and like just run 1,000 miles an hour. That's really what I really want. It'd be so nice. And now this one comes from Raidamus Prime, who says, people say Chrono Trigger doesn't need a remake because it's already perfect, but wouldn't a remake or remaster only help new players experience it? What's the downside? That's a very valid question. The first, I think, is opportunity costs. Like if a remaster is done poorly, what are the chances of them doing a remaster and doing it well? And on what timeline? This is kind of what I feel about like when The Dark Tower finally got a movie adaptation and it was so bad. And it's like I knew they couldn't continue it because they screwed themselves over. They shot themselves in the foot. You don't make a sequel to a bad movie. And the worst part about it, when's the soonest that they're going to try their hand at it again? If ever. 10 years from now? 15 years from now? Gotta reset the clock. Say goodbye to any chance of like seeing the entire series get like a Lord of the Rings style adaptation. Never gonna happen now. That's kind of the opportunity costs that I'm talking about there. But I do always say on Hit Point when I talk to Baku and stuff, the JRPG podcast, go subscribe. If it comes out bad and you don't like it, go play the original. That's the other thing. I am of two minds on this. One of those is, yeah, you're right. There's no downside because the original that you love is still there and it's still good and still playable. But I guess that doesn't really tie into your question about when people say that a game is so good, it doesn't need a remake or a remaster. So at that point, yeah, I would see no downsides. Chrono Trigger, I will say, already has a great port on PC. It sucked when it came out. I'll admit that. They screwed the pooch there. But it is, by my estimation at this point, the definitive way to play Chrono Trigger. Widescreen support, super good pixel art, brand new localization. It's got the FMVs from most of the FMVs. You need one more there. And then it'll be the definitive way. But it's like 99% of the way there to being the perfect port. And people are still like, I want a new port. Let's do the HD 2D version then. Fine. And then we got this one from Sahoni Huaya, who says, if Persona 4 is getting a remake, would it likely come from a different team than Persona 6? Could this mean that both games could be in development simultaneously? I would say that. In fact, most likely, a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm disappointed they're making a remake of Persona 4 instead of Persona 6. They probably don't realize that, yeah, the A-team is working on A-team stuff. At this point, for the last several years at this point, they were working on Metaphor ReFantazio the entire time that they were making like Persona 3 Remake and also Persona 4 Remake, if these rumors do turn out to be true, hype responsibly. So yeah, the fact of the matter is there's usually lots of different teams, lots of people doing different things at different times. Sure, they might pull the original director in once in a while and say, does this look okay? And they say, yeah, or no. But for the most part, a lot of the initial groundwork that really requires the creative forces behind the creation of a brand new game, they've already done the work on the original game and they're moving on to other things. Because trust me, there would be no greater hell on this planet than having an artist try to spend the entire rest of their life creating the work that they did before, only newer. Oh my god. Anyways, thank you all so much for joining me today. Make sure you join the Discord so you can submit some news of your own, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great week, everybody.